Hello and welcome to Tuesday's ITV7 Picks podcast, where me and Frankie will be going through all of the 7 races on Tuesday's ITV7 free-to-play game that sees 4 races from the first day of Glorious Goodwood, 2 from Beverley and 1 from Yarmouth, with a £100,000 jackpot on offer up for grabs. Frankie, what are 5 days you've got with Glorious Goodwood? How much are you looking forward to it?
Yeah, it's a brilliant week, this, and even the crossover we get with Galway as well, and then we'll be talking about races from all over throughout the week as well. So it's a massive week of racing, and I love these summer festivals when you have 3 or 4 or even 5 days of back-to-back group action. They're the days that we all look forward to, and they're brilliant from a betting perspective as well, because every day you've got group races to get stuck into. You've got your top horses that you know are all going to be peaked and trying their best to win these races. So it's great fun. It makes for brilliant watching, and hopefully as well we find some winners through the week. We've got plenty of opportunity to do, James, for 5 days, so I'm sure we'll find a few.
Yeah, we have got plenty of opportunity. And like we did it at Cheltenham, at Royal Ascot, we're just going to try and find the winners for the ITV7 free-to-play game. And we'll be back every day across the week during Glorious Goodwood. So make sure you have subscribed to our channel so you get notified when the shows go live. Right, this is your first chance to get involved in TWE's ITV7 free-to-play league. You can get involved from today. You'll then be in the league with a chance to win £100 for a first place cash prize for finishing top of the leaderboard at the end of the week. And obviously, ITV7 are giving away £400,000 across the week. So that's 5 days of big action and 5 days of a chance to win in the jackpot. Or if you want to get involved, just use the code TWE ITV7 to join our league. The details and T's and C's will all be in the description. If you want to check it out before getting involved, have a look there. Right, Frankie, all that out the way, we'll get going with talking through some of the races then. And the first one we're going to have a look at from Glorious Goodwood is the 250 Coral Chesterfield Cup handicap over 1 mile 2. We've got Millbosque at the top of the market 5-1. Lord Protector in there at 6s for Rafe Beckett. Eagles Way coming back after just 5 days at 7-1. Pride of America 9-1. Chaos Chorister at 10-1 and 10-1 bigger the rest. Look, it's quite a tricky one to start. These big fielded handicaps, aren't they? But who takes you fancy in this one?
Yeah, it's a competitive start. Millbosque at the top of the market's really interesting with that early group form, but there's probably just a not enough recent evidence for me to be putting Millbosque up as my selection. I also quite like Eagles Way, who's been progressing nicely, but there's one I think that's quite interesting in here, and that's Soto Sizzler. Last year won a handicap at Epsom before then rising in the weights up to a mark of 106. And actually had a crack at this race last year and didn't really perform off of that high mark of 106. Then threw in a couple of bad performances. Mark came all the way back down to 99 when they had a crack at that same race at Epsom when finishing third, but did have to come from last to first or last to third, obviously, in the end. But it was hard work to go and win that race again. Soto Sizzler hasn't been seen since and comes off the same mark. So I'd be pretty confident to say that Soto Sizzler's well handicapped. He's still obviously got to be good enough to go and win this race. But I think a mark of 99 is good enough for me to get involved. Ryan Moore's on board as well. And I think, I know we're not talking prices, but it's definitely overpriced. And hey, look, if we can find one outside the top couple to get going, then why not? So Soto Sizzler takes my pick.
Yeah, he's a horse I looked at as well. And off a mark of 99, obviously, has raced at Goodwood before. He could definitely have a big chance. Ryan Moore on board for his dad as well. That's obviously a massive bonus. The one I've gone for here, it's not too far similar price away from yours, but like you say, we just want the winners in the ITV7 competition. I've gone for Chaos Chorister for David Manuzia and William Buick. A horse that was a big improver last season, who rattled off a 5-timer, bringing up a 5th win at this meeting last season when landing a handicap over 1 mile 3. Reaching a mark of 99 towards the end of last season. It looked as though the handicapper might have just got her. But after a break, she returned this season. She went to Epsom. She bounced back to form with a close second behind a nice horse in Bad Company. That was over 1 mile 2 on soft ground. Second again at Epsom at the Derby meeting when stepped up in trip to 1 mile 4. She was last seen up to listed level at Pontefract. Look, I don't know what happened, but the race didn't go her way at all. She finished last of 10. I'm happy to put that behind her because I don't think that was her true running. She drops back into a handicap here. She's already showed this season she can handle her mark of 99, running well this season off similar marks, getting back to softer conditions. I think she looks like she could have plenty going for her here, and I think she can go close. So Chaos Chorister for David Manuzia and William Buick to kick us off in the ITV7. We're going to go over to Beverley now. And this is, we were talking just off air before about ITV7, and this is where it's quite fun because you're not just looking at Goodwood all the time. You're looking at all different racing across the week. And Beverley's, I've got 2 races on the ITV7 on Tuesday. And the first race we're going to cover is the Novice Stakes over 7.5 furlongs. Frankie, a lot of unexposed horses in this field. Who do you fancy?
There is, yeah. I'm going with the expert choice, who has the most racing experience out of any in here, having raced twice, and the last time was at Beverley. Richard Farr, he likes to send plenty of horses to Beverley, and I think this horse, if breaking a bit better and being in a bit of a handier position, turning for home, should go close because he gave himself a lot to do last time, which is pretty tough to do as well at Beverley. So yeah, expert choice with, you know, a little bit more racing experience, has been to Beverley before, was a good second from a poor position. If a bit handier, should go close for me.
Yeah, it's a very chancy race, isn't it? Because we don't know an awful lot about these horses, and you just got to try and find one little angle, obviously try and find the win in the ITV7. The one I went for was Tribal Rhythm for James Horton and PJ McDonald. This 2-year-old, like many in the field, only been seen once to date when finishing a close 4th of 8 at Haydock. That was on debut in a Novice Stakes over 7. He only went down by a length that day, though. Although he finished 4th of 8, he only went down by a length, and it was a good first run. I think he'll learn plenty from that. And I think that's probably actually the best form heading into the race, even though we're not on position. I think how the race was run and how Tribal Rhythm finished, I really like that performance. He's also a half-brother to Royal Ascot and Group 1 winner Bradsell. So on pedigree, it suggests that they really think this horse is going to be quite decent in time. So I'll take a chance on Tribal Rhythm improving from his debut to hopefully get his career off the mark, because he could potentially be a nice horse going forward. Going back to Goodwood then, for the third race we're going to cover, and it's the Group 2 Vintage Stakes over 7 furlongs. This is one of their bigger races on the first day, Frankie. We've seen really nice winners throughout the years of younger horses turning out to be very, very smart. And at the top of the market this year, we currently have Hartum at 11-4 for Richard Hannon and Sean Levy. Golden Mind in there at 4-1. Iberian 4-1. Mountain Bear for Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore 15-2. Thunder Blue at 8 and 12-1 bigger the rest. Hartum at the top of the market has been so consistent all season. I don't think it would take too much, in my eyes, much more improvement for this horse to go and win this race, would it?
Yeah, I agree, James. Hartum has been super consistent, and when I first looked at the race with obviously lots of horses in here that are going to be improving rapidly, I was kind of trying to find one that maybe might have caught my eye, slightly less exposed than Hartum, but I don't think you can get away from the performances that Hartum's put in. Third at Epsom on the Derby weekend, and Bobsleigh was really well fancied that day that won the race, and even Ballon d'Or, who was second, was also well fancied. So I think that form kind of holds strong. Again, at Ascot, run well in the Coventry, and then at Newmarket, I know the exciting Aidan O'Brien horse went and won by a good few lengths, but Hartum did still have to beat the rest of the field and did so. So I kind of went down the field and I came all the way back up to the top, and I thought Hartum looks rock solid, especially in an ITV7. This is quite a nice pick. You'll definitely get a run for your money.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Couldn't put it better myself, what you just said about Art. And then I just think his form that he's shown outweighs everyone else in the field. Look, there is horses in here that could improve. You've only been seeing Iberian once, like Golden Mind, only 3 times. Hartum's got that experience in better races than what these have raced in. And like you said, even though you've got beat like fairly well by City of Troy last time out, he beat the rest in a very, very good field. He's shown it at 5, he's shown it at 6, and now he's shown it at 7. He's very versatile. And he last time on good to soft ground. It's probably going to be very similar, if not soft ground, at the first day at Goodwood if they have any more rain. I think Hartum for Richard Hannon is going to take all the beating. And like you say, ITV7, it's a nice one to put in because it's nothing to do with price. And actually at 11-4, I think you're getting a good price about a favourite that has got a lot more experience than these and shown in better races what he can do. So yeah, Hartum in the Group 2 Vintage. I think we both agree there that hopefully he will get the job done. Right then, we're going to go over to Yarmouth next on the ITV7 free-to-play game. And the racing question we're going to talk about is at the races form study handicap over 1 mile 6. Frankie, who are you going for?
Yeah, you got to do some studying to try and find a winner of this. plenty of old handicappers in here that Yeah, it's a muddle to try and find one. I'm going for Cherry Cola. She has a bit of course form. She's raced 4 times at Yarmouth, has won 2 of them, second the other. The last success came over course and distance, albeit it was off a slightly lower mark, but I think she's playing some good performances since. She was second in a better race at Bath, a Class 5, and then third in another kind of similar race to this, a Class 6 handicap last time out, but didn't get the best trip round. So she has gone up slightly in the weights since winning here, but she has shown she can win here over course and distance. I still think she's in good form because the last 2 performances have been good enough. Again, I think she should be in the frame.
Yeah, it's a really difficult one in it, and obviously ITV7 put it in here for a reason, because to find the winner of this, you've got to be very, very good. Buxted Real is the one I've gone for. I'm going to take a chance on him here. I'm hoping that he's now dropped enough down the handicap to start getting competitive again. He put up some really good performances last term between 1 mile 4, 1 mile 6. Got him up to a mark of 72, which saw him finally in the grasp of the handicapper then. But he's been seen 4 times this term, and his first 3 runs, you go and watch him, it's all about getting his mark back down. And I think last time, off a mark of 68 back at Chester, over 2 miles, he showed the first bit of glimpses that he was coming back to a bit of form. That was off 68. He did finish third. It was by 7 lengths, but it was just a much better run than all his others. He did massive step in the right direction, and now down to a mark of 65, which sees him officially £3 better off from his last winning mark. I think he could get back to form here. So yeah, Buxted Real. I'm taking a chance because he's a big price. But I just think he's down to a nice mark now, and hopefully we can see the best of him. So Buxted Real for me in that one. Right then, Beverley. The final race from Beverley we're going to cover is another novice stakes. This time's over 5 furlongs. Frankie, who are you siding with in this one?
I think the winner will come from Carl Burke's stable. He does send 3 though. I was trying to find which one I preferred the most. I came down on Petra Solera. She went clear of third last time out, and this I've only kind of realized this as saying it out loud. But I've gone with all the most experienced horses in these novice races, and I don't think it'll pan out like that. There'll definitely be one lurking in one of these races, but potentially at the not to not to have a dig at Beverley, but at these lesser meetings, you might be better off siding with some of these more experienced horses like Petra Solera, who has been improving each time. Did go clear of third with second last time, and I know she's raced over 6 the last 3 times, but Beverley is quite a stiff 5, and she did show a bit of battle when winning last time. So I think again, if she has a target to aim in front of her, climbing that hill at Beverley could suit.
Yeah, it's another tricky one, isn't it? Because we've all got a lot of them in here. I've got decent form. You've got to try to weigh up the races that they've won. How good were those races? The one I went with was Band of Joy for George Bowie and Connor Planis. I think this filly holds arguably the best form in the race. And I think she can make big appeal. And Connor Planis, I like him a lot as a £5 claimer. I know there's a few claimers in here, but I think he's definitely worth his weight in gold for that £5 claim. So I think he's a cracking jockey booking. Second on debut at Windsor in June over 5 furlongs. We're learning a lot for the experience. You go and watch that horse. He was very, very green in that race. And just the further she went, the better she got. She went then back over the same course and distance and got off the mark for her career in really good style, showing really good finishing speed that day. Up to 6 last time out at Lingfield under a penalty, giving weight away to the whole field. She put up her best performance yet to win comfortably. And although she harbours a penalty again, like I said, the £5 taken off pretty much null and voids that with Connor Planis on board. So yeah, Band of Joy for George Bowie in the final race on ITV7 from Beverley. The penultimate race we're going to cover on the ITV7, though, goes back over to Goodwood and sees the Group 2 Lennox Stakes over 7 furlongs. Kim Ross is in here at the top of the market, 11-8, Frankie. Are you with or against the favourite?
I am, yeah. I think this is, I'm not going to say rock solid. It's a very hot race, but it's a strong favourite for me, Kim Ross. He was second in this race last year before going on to win 4 Group 1s on the trot, as we know. I think some people might try and have a stab at his form this year so far, but he doesn't perform that well fresh. So you wouldn't be too discouraged by the Ascot run. And even last year, he was 8th in the same race and 7th in it this year. And then 3rd behind, or not miles off, Shaquille at Newmarket in the July Cup, who's arguably one of the most exciting sprinters around at the moment. So I know that we saw him win 4 Group 1s, and everyone was probably hoping that he comes out and wins more Group 1s straight away. But I'm not worried at all. He found his best form around this time of year, over 7 furlongs last year, and he's done nothing to show any signs of slowing down so far this year. So I think he's bang the right favourite, and I think he takes all the bait in here.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you again. I think Kinross is solid. And look, we said it's not about what price it is. We just need to find the winner. So yeah, Kinross for me. He started in this race last year was where he really kicked his form off, I think, because he finished second to Sandrine by a neck. Then went to York in the City Group 2 City of York Stakes, over 7 furlongs, won that in good style. Went to Doncaster, landed the Group 2 Park Stakes, and then won the Group 1 Prix de la Forêt in Paris Longchamp, and he just couldn't stop his good run. He then went to Ascot and won the Group 1 Champion Sprint Stakes, and even went to Keeneland in the Breeders' Cup meeting. And he finished very close behind Modern Games back in third. So yeah, his 2 runs this season, like you said, the first one, he did that last season. So you knew it was probably going to happen and probably need the run. And like you say, the run behind Shaquille last time out that's an absolute massive positive, because I think Shaquille is going to be very tough to beat all season in those sprint events. Yes, Kinross is getting older, but in this field, you look behind, Isaac Shelby, yes, a nice horse, but I don't think has got the same level of ability that Kinross has. Soft ground, 7 furlongs. He's absolutely what he loves, Kinross. He's shown he can do it at this track before and finishing second in this race last year by a neck. Like, I can't stop the talking positives for this horse, Kinross, on Tuesday. So he'll be my selection as well in that race. Right, the final event we're going to cover is the feature on day 1 of Glorious Goodwood, and it is the Group 1 Goodwood Cup. We have a rematch here, and it could be a rematch for the ages of what we saw at Royal Ascot. Courage Mon Ami at the top of the market, taking on Coltrane, 9 to 4 and 100 to 30 respectively. Emily Dickinson in here, she'll love the soft ground at 6 to 1. Eldar Eldarov, obviously the same ledger winner, in here at 9s. Giavolotto at 14s for Marco Botti. Quickthorn at 16s and 18 to 1 bigger the rest. It's going to be branded as the rematch between Courage Mon Ami and Coltrane, but there is some really nice horses in there as well. So who have you gone for to finish us off?
There is, yeah. I'm actually quite interested to see who you're siding with here, James, because we were all over Coltrane, weren't we? At Ascot, and I think even Frankie said that he thought Courage Mon Ami had no chance going into the race, and it was all credit to John and Thady Gosden to how the horse kind of progressed from a handicap to going and winning at the Royal meeting, and shocked everyone, or certainly shocked me and you. And to be honest, if I looked at the page, I would have said it is a rematch. But if I look outside my window, and I'm only an hour and a half from Goodwood, and the rain has been coming down, and check the forecast there, and it's similar there, and there'll be a bit more rain tomorrow morning, and there obviously would have been some racing on by this point already. If it does get soft, I'd be put off the favourite, and I may be proven wrong, but Courage Mon Ami just kind of skips along the top of the service, and if it's tough, I don't know if it'll suit. So Coltrane might be next best, but again has no sort of form on soft. So I'm going to take a swing at Emily Dickinson. If the rain keeps coming down, she's put all her best performances on testing ground. One of which was over the trip as well. She's not quite to the level of the other 2, but the ground might just tip that balance in her favour. So it's a really tricky one to sum up, but I'm putting my faith in the rain gods, really. And if it does keep raining, I think Emily Dickinson will have a real good chance of winning this race.
Yeah, she will love the soft ground, and her run last time out at the Curragh over 1 mile 6 was arguably her best performance. So it's nice to see her progressing, because I think they probably thought she progressed a bit quicker than she has, but now she's coming to the level where they think she's going to be. Fascinating race this is, because, like I said, Courage Mon Ami taking on Coltrane. You've got to weigh up, can Courage Mon Ami do it again? I know the younger horse. You've obviously got younger horses in there like Eldar Eldarov as well, who I don't think we've probably seen the best of yet this season. But I'm being loyal. I'm being loyal to Coltrane. I'm sticking with him. I think he can reverse the form. And I think if it's good to soft, he will handle it better than Courage Mon Ami, like you mentioned. I think I napped him during Royal Ascot, and obviously he was just beaten by Courage Mon Ami. It was Heartbreak Hotel, really, because he ran a brilliant race. But all the form he's got from last season, obviously overstaying distances, what he's already shown this season at Ascot over 2 miles in the Group 3 Sagaro Stakes, and in the Gold Cup shows to me he's just still at that same ability he's been at for the last 18 months. And I know he's 6 years of age now, but these stayers can be this age. You look at what Stradivarius was doing, and you look at other horses in that division like Trushan. Yes, they do peter out at a certain stage, but they can still do it at an older age. And I just really like Coltrane. You know you're going to get a run for your money with him, and that's the thing I love.
100%, yeah. I'd agree on that. I think Courage Monami might either blitz the field or run no race at all. Coltrane will 100% be in. Well, we'll find out, but I think we'll be in the frame.
I just think he will be there in the finish, whether he wins or whether he doesn't. When you come to that final few furlongs, he'll be there trying his heart out for you, and he stays the distance. And what I think another difference is over 2 mile 4. I wouldn't say he got outstayed, but it was just a bit more class from Courage Monami. And I think coming back to 2 miles, if you I know you ride the race differently, but if you stop it at the 2 mile point for where Coltrane, Courage Monami were in the Gold Cup, Coltrane would have won. And I know it's a different race, and you set out to go over half a mile further. But I just think back at 2 miles, that's going to be a positive for Coltrane. Maybe not sure for Courage Monami. It's a tough one. It's a great race, but I'm staying loyal to Coltrane. Hopefully he can get the job done. Frankie, that's the first one done for this week. Tuesday's ITV7 free-to-play game. Hopefully we found some winners in there, but we'll be back all week anyway, trying to help you find some winners as well. Like you said, if you want to get involved in the completely free to enter ITV7 competition on Tuesday, use the code TWE ITV7 to join the TWE League with a £100 first place cash prize for finishing top of the leaderboard at the end of the week. And also you can play for your chance to win £100,000 on Tuesday with up to £400,000 on offer throughout the week. Just check the T's and C's before getting involved. That is in the description below. Frankie, thanks for the selections. Thanks all for watching, and all the best whatever you're backing on day 1 of Glorious Goodwood.